Fast forward 3 weeks. My friend died that sent me that money.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
So she is forever a part of Mama Vic's. Because I now have my stand mixer that I call Diane every day. When I'm mixing with her love and her heart. So I was feeling that moment, and I'm like, okay, God, I'm just cake popping. I'm just cake popping, and you're telling me I can't raise my prices, Lord. So I don't know how you're going to make this work. I just don't. So just make this happen. Like, I'm crushed. I'm lost. And at this moment, I'm just hands out, literally. My phone was sitting next to me, and I heard this cash register noise on my phone go, cha-ching. And it stopped me for a minute because, of course, I'm in my all, right? And then when you hear something, it startles you, and I look down, and I'm like, what is that? It was a notification of Venmo. Okay, who's sending me a notification? Because sometimes I'll get a notification, oh, do you want this credit card? Or, so I thought, oh, let me just tap one and see what it was. It was my middle school teacher, music teacher, who I always stayed connected with through the years. And Facebook's been a wonderful tool for us all this day. And her and my brother Teddy were very close, always talking about God. Her and Teddy would always have conversations. And so she would always message me and say, gosh, I just love watching God in your life. Like how you share it on social media and you're not ashamed of who's brought you where you're at. Boy, you've changed from the girl that I remember in middle school, right? So she was always that lady. So the Venmo was from her. And I opened it up. I saved it. I opened it up, and it was some money, and the memo was, God just placed you on my heart. I don't know what's going on, but He just placed you on my heart, and He told me to send this to you. So at that moment, I knew God financially was going to take care of me, no matter where my bank account looked like, because it wasn't about the finances. It wasn't about the money. And it was just a little reminder, the little God wink, as I call him, to bring me back, because the enemy was having a field day in my mind over my husband and I, and he wanted me not to trust my husband. Yeah. He wanted me to have a fit, because again, anybody who knows the old Vicky, I got a tongue, and boy, I can cut your throat with it.
And he wanted his foot in the door.
And it's something I promised in this marriage I would never do. I would never call my husband out of his name. I would never degrade him as a person. I promised myself when I went into this marriage I would never, because my old marriage, we did that. It was a common thing. So I sat there. I know, sorry. I knew it was God telling me, I have you. So, of course, I messaged her, and I'm like, look, I can't accept this money. I can't take this from you. It wasn't the amount that left, but she's like, Vicky, you can't. You have to take it. She says, I don't know what's going on, but I know God told me that I needed to send this to you. So what you do with it is up to you, but I'm not taking it back. Anybody else who knows me knows I'm not a receiver. I don't receive gifts well. I don't receive I don't receive. I receive hugs very good, but gifts, I don't. And so I had to humble myself and accept it, not only for me, but I didn't want to block her blessing. Fast forward 3 weeks. My friend died that sent me that money.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
So she is forever a part of Mama Vic's because I now have my stand mixer that I call Diane every day. When I'm mixing with her love and her heart. So I made sure that I poured into my business what God intended to. It may be a mixer, a stand mixer, but to me, every time I'm mixing up.
Yeah, it's what that represents.
Yes. And it's a reminder every day that I'm not doing this for the riches, Vicky. Finances, money. I'm doing this to spread his love. So I kept that. I do plan on reaching out to her family because her page was just made a memorial page recently. So I do plan on sharing. I'm going to, wipe out some of the finances, but I want to share that because I want their family to know how beautiful she was, even though I know they know. But that was a God moment. And like I said, she was always there in the midst of us growing up or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you got to help her in her obedience. You know what I mean? Like God told her and she moved and she did. So
And honestly, she was so sick. I mean, COVID messed her up a little bit at that time, and she developed severely a lot of lung issues from it. So she was in and out of the hospital, and it's funny because right before all that, Valentine's Day is when it was. I seen she was in the hospital on Facebook and stuff, and I was like, she lives in Florida, and I'm like, what can I do? So I packed up a Mama Vic's a box of treats of all different stuff, a variety of cake pops, pretzels, Rice Krispie treats, you name it. I packed it up and I shipped it to her UPS, although I know I wasn't supposed to. Sorry, law. But I did. I sent it to her and, just wanted her to have some joy in her heart. So she shared it with the nurses and their family that came and seen her and stuff. So it was, to me, it's just trifold, right? It's, she just, it's just a beautiful gift that I'll never forget. It's not just a stand mixer. I look at it every day and I was like, oh, thank you, Diane. And I thank her for being obedient through it. So it's going to bring love to a lot of people.
Yeah, how can you deny that?
You can't.
You know what I mean?
You can't. I try and share every story through all of this because there's been so many, like the angel that I found, like who can make this stuff up, right? Like it just can't be made up. All of it, everything's just been, it's been a whirlwind. Yeah, this journey's been a whirlwind.